Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Judy, and welcome back to our channel. Okay everybody, so today I'm very excited because if you've followed along on my channel for the past few weeks, I've been very hyped up and pumped up about the new season of 1,000 Pound Sisters on TLC. If you're not familiar with that show, it stars two YouTubers that I followed before they were ever on TLC named Amy and Tammy Slaton. They are sisters. They both have individual channels of their own, and I have been following them for a long time on YouTube and was very excited when they got their own TLC show and loved season 1. And now I'm here to give you the tea on season 2. We're gonna watch together. We're gonna chat about it together. But before we get too much into it today, let's check in with TLC correspondent Judy Luhu. Judy?
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet, to go over everything. They say that time's supposed to heal ya, but I ain't done much healing.
All right, well, thank you, Judy, so much for your contributions today. We really appreciate it here on the Zachary Michael channel. And like I said, everybody, I have been following them for a while. So if you are brand new to TLC, or not to TLC, probably not to TLC, brand new to 1,000 Pound Sisters or to my channel, I'm going to link a playlist and a pinned comment in the comments, the pinned comment, that's what a comment is. I'm gonna pin a comment down below that has a link to a playlist. Now this playlist covers literally every single video I've ever done about the Slatons on my channel ever. So before TLC, during season 1, some stuff that's happened in between seasons, including a meet and greet where producers were listening to my video. It will also include all of the season 2 recaps that I bring to you right here on this channel. Now, I do anticipate this being kind of a lengthy video of me going over all of my thoughts and feelings about the episode that premiered on Monday. But before I do get into that, I do want to quickly share a post that Tammy put on her Instagram. And I guess I just want to share it because I think folks need to just like respect to that some extent. They can't talk about different things on the channel. Just be understanding when trying to ask Tammy and Amy questions about the show because they can't really talk about it. So Tammy said, listen, we get asked these questions 1,000 times a day. We're under contract and we are not allowed to talk about any weight loss, no surgeries, no baby talk. What that means, if I tell you something about the baby or my weight loss, you could go tell somebody, not say any word, but you could, and then use that person, that chance to go tell somebody else. Being a ratings on the show will go down because nobody wants to see it. They already know what happened. And if ratings go down, no way we get paid. So we're not allowed to talk about it. Some people just don't understand or just don't care. They want the details, and other people just seem to think that we're not human and don't have feelings and we should be prim and proper and Miss Mary Sunshine. It's like they forget we have feelings. We can't be everywhere all the time when they want me to be. We're overwhelmed. Chill out. We're trying to be everywhere at once. We're doing our best. Please be patient with us. So that's just something to consider whenever you reach out to them. You know, don't harass them if they say they can't answer something for you. I think it's kind of amazing that they have the interaction that they already have with fans of the show. So just be thoughtful. Just be thoughtful when it comes to interacting with both Amy and Tammy and trying to get information from them. I thought that was kind of poignant to say. Maybe she wasn't the most eloquent or poignant herself, but like that concept of like respecting that they're on a show that they can't spoil because they're under contract, okay? All right, okay. So I don't want this video to be too long, so let's just jump in to this episode, this first episode. I will kind of give you my overall thoughts at the end, but we're gonna go kind of like bit by bit through the episode. Now, what I will say, some of my overall thoughts about the episode is that it just felt like they tried to fit a lot into one episode. And in previous episodes in season 1, they kind of like had logical sections that flowed really well. And this episode to me just felt kind of disjointed and all over the place. I kind of got the sense that it was something where they had started filming at the beginning of the pandemic and maybe filming got shut down for a little bit. And so they had to come back into it and kind of pick up some pieces and things like that. So I feel like that might be why it's a little bit disjointed. And I think hopefully what I'm hoping is for future episodes that it all flows a little bit more, because when I was taking notes, I'm like, oh my God, this is all over the place. How am I going to put this in a way that flows for my audience, that makes sense to my audience, when I'm myself having trouble keeping with the timeline here? But regardless, it starts off in classic 1,000 Pound Sisters and classic Slaton sisters. It was classic Slaton sisters behavior. They're sitting down for their confessionals, where they're just sitting down talking to producers, and the producers are asking them questions. And Amy goes, I got cheese. I got cheese on my pants. I got cheese on my pants. And she doesn't know what to do about it. She asks for some black tape to cover it up. Not to mention that she could just go inside to the apartment that's right behind her and put on a different pair of pants. But she says, I got cheese on my pants. And then a producer hands her a Sharpie, and she tries to draw in and cover up the cheese on her pants. And it's in her crotch area. It was a lot. And then she asked the producer if he wants it back, and he was like, yeah, kind of. And Amy and Tammy lose their shit over it. And then they suggest that the producer sells it on eBay and markets it as the Slaton cheese. Ma'am! Ma'am! Listen, that honestly, that was the best part of the whole episode for me. And that's why I just spent, it literally consisted of 2 minutes of the whole episode. But that's why I spent 12 minutes on it, because it was my favorite part. Truly, I was laughing so hard. So then we go into a little bit of a check-in with both Tammy and Amy and how they're doing post season 1. And Amy talks about how she has lost about 124 pounds since the season aired, or since she had her surgery. She also talks very honestly and vulnerably about how she didn't think that she'd live past 30, and she's just very grateful for this new life that she has, and she seems to just be really happy. And I love to see her like that. She just genuinely seemed so thrilled with this new opportunity at life that she had. Tammy, on the other hand, I don't know. Things didn't seem to be going as well for her. She seemed really fed up with stuff. She had mentioned that she had reached 550 pounds, which was her goal from Dr. Hottie, and that she wasn't using her walker anymore, which goes on to be a theme throughout the whole episode. She talks about the pandemic hitting and how it set her back, which I have some thoughts about. But I also want to say, I don't think anybody that follows closely online on social media is surprised that she's fallen back or that she's using her walker again. In fact, in my recaps last season, she was already in videos, coming on videos on YouTube and things like that, using a walker. So it's we already knew, sis. We already knew that you were starting to use your walker again, okay? No surprises there. I would have loved to be surprised and seen her navigating things without it, because it did seem towards the end of season 1 that she was making some improvements. But nah, I just want to say this once so I don't have to repeat it multiple times, even though it comes up multiple times throughout the episode. But she uses this concept of the pandemic setting her back. And to some extent, I do want to say, I feel that's valid. I feel a lot of people experienced different things when it came to their health and their diet and things like that during the pandemic, right? Like for me, for instance, I found this time at home to be something that has helped me control what I'm eating, because I'm making almost everything here at home with the exception of maybe like once every other week getting some takeout. And I know though that that's not everybody's story. That's not everybody's narrative, right? Like lots of people have actually had the opposite experience where because they're not going out, they're really depressed, they're eating just whatever, they don't care, it's whoever, it's whatever. So I get that as a concept. But what I am struggling with in Tammy using this excuse throughout the episode is like, what has changed for you? I mean, she made a good point. I think she made a great point to say, all of these people that are now stuck in their house kind of know like what her experience is being stuck in the house all day, every day. And I think that that's something good and important to consider. But when it comes to her using it as an excuse for why she hasn't progressed, I do have questions, because it's like, girl, nothing is, what exactly has changed for you, you know? That's the part. And this is, of course, we all know now that like earlier this fall, she did get COVID and had pneumonia. And so that's also certainly a different story. But like saying like, oh, I'm stuck inside all the time when she doesn't go out anyways, isn't really flying with me personally. As an excuse, like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, girl, you weren't going anywhere anyways. So what's new? What's different? So the next part is one part that was kind of like weird for me, because it was clear that they were taking clips and stuff from all kinds of different periods in time. It was hard to follow. It didn't seem very continuous. The timeline, it didn't seem like it was chronological. That's the word. They sit down to film this like PPE video that they literally just posted on the day that this episode aired, okay? Even though Amy has been posting clips from the show for like the past week or two, out of nowhere, the one that they realized, they were like, oh my God, this one's gonna be in today's episode. Let's go toss this on the channel too, to make it look like we've been filming this whole time. I truly don't get the social media part. Like, they want us to know and believe as part of the Slaton sisters narrative that they are YouTube stars, but then like they just went all this time without really posting any of this stuff, and now we're just all supposed to believe this as a part of the narrative, which I get. Like, we can't have spoilers. I mean, Tammy, I read that thing from Tammy at the beginning. I get it, but it's just like very confusing, I think, to those of us who do watch them online outside of the show, and shit's not adding up. They also talk a little bit about how like Amy has gotten a whole lot of love after season 1, but like Tammy's still getting haters, and they kind of allude to that being because Amy's been really successful in weight loss and Tammy hasn't. I don't think that that's the case personally, of why like Tammy gets all of the negative attention. I certainly think it's a part of it. I think like people are just frequently nasty towards Tammy because of how she looks, weighs, etc. But also I think part of that is because Tammy wasn't exactly portrayed in like the most positive light in season 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was often shown as just being real nasty towards Amy when Amy didn't do shit to her, you know? And I think we see a little bit of that again in this episode for sure. But I will say TLC is kind of, you know, manipulating the narrative too, because they included this clip. Now, this is a real life clip of Tammy opening up some like packages or something that she got in the mail at her P.O. box, and it was a sign that said "Beware a pig." But I just want to be clear that happened way before season 2, and I think even before season 1. In fact, I feel like they showed that clip in season 1. I can't quite remember. It's been a while since I watched season 1. But all I'm saying is, in this timeline, it didn't happen after she was already on the show, right? So, like, it felt weird for them to go back in time and include that clip. Like I said, the timeline doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. but it is what it is. And overall, I think like the clip they filmed with all the PPE and trying it on, I thought that was funny and cute. During that whole bit about the YouTube and their careers on YouTube, they also like briefly talked a little bit about needing to go see Dr. Proctor again. You know, I think that also was very confusing to me because this episode, they don't go see Dr. Proctor. They don't do anything with that. And they don't really talk about health again for a really long time in the episode. I guess they used that part or that opportunity to introduce that Amy's been constipated for 3 weeks or something like that. So I think they used that to introduce the whole concept of her needing to go to urgent care, which she does. And y'all would think that this was an episode of I didn't know I was pregnant, because she goes to the hospital, or the urgent care, not the hospital, although she did call it ER at one point, but I'm pretty sure they just went to an urgent care. They go to the urgent care and Amy finds out, oh, not only am I backed up, but I'm also pregnant. Like, that is like a classic I didn't know I was pregnant storyline. Like, oh, I had like all these issues and just like la-di-da-di-da. And oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. Like, it's a good thing she couldn't poop, because who knows if she would have found out. And then they showed her telling Michael. Michael seemed elated. I thought that was precious. He seemed very happy to be having a child. And at first I thought, when she called Tammy to tell Tammy, I thought we were getting some like real annoying Tammy stuff again, where Tammy was going to be mad for no reason. But it was clear that the reason that Tammy didn't have the excitement that one would expect a person to have for their sister being pregnant was because she was concerned about Amy, because they showed this clip where like Amy was told explicitly by Dr. Hottie, hey, you shouldn't have babies for at least 2 years post-surgery, because you're not going to get the nutrients you need or the baby needs. Like, it's not going to be a good deal. You're going to be a high-risk pregnancy. Like, don't do it. And obviously, Tammy has some concerns. At least initially, her concerns seem to be about Amy. Later in the episode, it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe you have other concerns too, girl. But initially, her concerns seem genuine and thoughtful, and I appreciated that. So we find out that Amy's pregnant, and then for some reason, out of nowhere, the show jumps ahead 2 months, and we're 2 months out from that, which is just like, why did we do this? I did not understand that continuity jump. Again, I feel like it has to have been something with like, they had to shut down filming because of the pandemic or something like that, or they had to take a break from filming, because it just didn't make any sense to me that all of a sudden it was 2 months later. But here we are. They show Amy telling YouTube that she's pregnant, although obviously she didn't do that. She obviously didn't actually post that clip, because we only all found out that she was for sure pregnant, like, I don't know, a couple months ago. Although somebody did at some point jump into my DMs and say, hey, Zach, I had heard that Amy might be pregnant, and that's what they're gonna like showcase on season 2. But like, really, truly, nobody really knew that. Like, nobody had officially, like, Amy had not officially shared that until literally they announced season 2. So there's that. I will say they showed some like really fun clips of Amy seemingly enjoying being pregnant and really loving the idea that she was going to be a mom. So I love that for her. I thought that was really sweet and endearing. They did ask Tammy what her thoughts about Amy being pregnant was, and she said that she thought that Amy was more of a hungry bitch now that she was pregnant. That was Tammy's words, not mine. And that Tammy overall was just like really tired of having to hear about it. Then we kind of get to see some changes and why Tammy might be upset about hearing about the baby. And a lot of people on the show that they bring on, family members, Amy, Michael, all kind of suggest that like Tammy's really probably upset because homegirl's gonna have to start taking care of herself more, because literally Amy is going to be a mom of an actual child. And I think Amy even says like, I can't be a mom to a 34-year-old child or something like that. So it seems like maybe Tammy's getting frustrated because there's a lot of pressure on her to like start taking care of herself more. It's a lot. Then we get Amy and Tammy putting together these cookout family t-shirts, and they throw out all kinds of they're trying to come up with a slogan, right? And they come up with all of these just wild things to put on a shirt for their family. They got Redneck Riviera, It's Time to Eat. I think one of them even says fat bitches at some point, which is not something I'm trying to wear around on a t-shirt. But they ultimately end up settling on a Country Bumpkins design that's literally Scrabble tiles. I was like, where did y'all get this? Only in Kentucky. Only the Slatons. Only the Slatons come up with Scrabble tiles for their family t-shirt when they all probably haven't ever played a game of Scrabble in their life. Okay. We then get to meet Misty, which is their sister, and I really liked the addition of Misty. She seemed to have a really good relationship with Tammy, although they also reference that Tammy has lived with several other family members before Amy, and shit's never worked out. So maybe things haven't always been so good between Misty and Tammy, but Misty seems to be just different than the Slatons. I don't know, maybe it's because she can put together a full sentence that doesn't include anything about farting, burping, peeing, whoever, whatever, and uses words that I've heard before, which is no shade as long as people know what you're trying to say. But what I'm saying is she talks in a different way than Amy and Tammy do. And she is coming over to see Tammy, and Tammy's sitting over here doing her latch hook, which we love to see a latch hook DIY craft, okay? Can we go back to having latch hook on the channel, Tammy? I would love to see a latch hook video. And she's making this latch hook for Jerry! Can y'all believe? Jerry, she's gonna send Jerry a latch hook. Latch hook project in the mail to show Jerry that she loves him still. So Misty is skeptical. Misty's like, what? But what I will say, my favorite thing about the Jerry conversation is that TLC said, we're going to remind you that this clip of Tammy is out there. You know the one where Tammy's like, yes, we made love.
We had a freaking awesome time. Yes, we made love.
That clip, for some reason, sends me every time. No question, it sends me every time I see it. Now, Tammy claims that Jerry's not like all the other girls. He's not like all of her other exes, and that Jerry really actually allegedly cares about her. And she even mentions that she and Jerry are considering marriage. But I think we all know here on the Zachary Michael channel that homeboy is still married. He's currently married, unless some things have changed with that. He's married. What do you mean he's considering getting married to you? He's gotta not be married to his current wife first. So I have a lot of questions about that. Misty seems concerned because Jerry likes bigger women, which Tammy also confirms, but Tammy says Jerry wants her to be healthier. So I feel like to some extent we gotta trust. We gotta trust that that's true. So ultimately this scene ends in Misty making Tammy walk to the mailbox and put the package for Jerry in the mailbox. And it turns into a big struggle for Tammy. She doesn't make it all the way to the mailbox. She gets winded. She's using her walker. And Misty has to go into Amy's house and get this bariatric chair for her to sit in and catch her breath and get back to it. And it's just I think goes to show that people have legitimate reasons to be concerned about if Tammy will be able to take care of herself once Amy is caring for a child full time. So we get to the actual cookout moment. We got introduced to two new characters. We got brother Chris and we got Chris's daughter Emily, which we've seen Emily since season 1 aired. Emily's been in some videos with Tammy. If I can find some clips, I'll include them. I mean, it's nothing too exciting. She has just been there, okay? She's just been around. And then brother Chris is there. Now, we have maybe talked about this before on my channel, but Amy and Tammy used to live with a brother. And every time said brother came into the room when they were filming, they just got real scared real quick. And I just have to wonder, he seemed real friendly on the show, but I got lots of questions. I got a lot of questions about that because I mean, if I can find some clips, I'll include it. But it was just a lot back in the day. I remember thinking like, y'all need to get out of that house because y'all just seem real uncomfortable with this guy.
Right here, the third one, and use this.
So everybody at this cookout is getting these big old plates of food. They have some conversations about how, like, food brings a family together. And then Chris says, nah, that's love. Like, food doesn't have to be a part of it. Which, like, to some extent is true. I think a lot of people have a lot of family traditions around food. A lot of food that has meaning to them and their family, because food is something that like brings people together, right? Like for holidays, we frequently come together and eat dinner or eat meals together as a part of our celebrations. They all had big plates of food though, including Amy, which like also seemed a little sus, but she kind of wrote it off as like, hey, I'm eating for two, like I gotta do what I gotta do. I just had questions because my understanding of folks who have bariatric or gastric bypass surgery frequently can't actually fit that amount of food in there. So that's my concern, is like, how is she not getting sick from eating this much food? Like the people I know in my life who have had it would never be able to eat that much food at once. So that was really my question. I mean, like, eat what you want to eat what you gotta eat. But that was my concern about it all. It's like, I feel like you have to be in some physical discomfort from like the sheer volume of food that you're eating right now. Ultimately, it turns into a Tammy Slaton intervention where everybody in the family essentially is like, listen, sis, you have got to get your life together because Amy can't take care of you forever. And of course, Tammy blows up. I mean, this is what I'm talking about when I say like, Tammy doesn't treat the people around her the greatest all the time. And she claims in one clip, okay, there's one clip where she's like, the only thing Amy does for me is get me food, which by itself is a pretty important thing, okay, first of all. Like, if Amy can't get her food anymore, like, girl, you still gotta eat, okay? So that's one thing, but then it cuts to her in like a confessional with the producer saying, Amy only does my laundry and sometimes Michael takes out my trash. So it's like, what is the real story, girl? What's the truth? So that is kind of how the cookout ends, is like, everybody's like, sis, you gotta get this shit together. Get it together. So the final scene of episode 1 of season 2 is Brother Chris bringing over old, trusty, faithful, hello, it's ready. Yes, our favorite scale is here, and it is here to do the weigh-in. They even have some jokes about how it's talking to them and how it's ready. I was just like, thank you. Thank you. We had to have this scale. This scale had to be here. This scale, star of the show, as always. I mean, honestly, I think we all know that scale is a star. But basically, Chris wanted to bring it over so that he could help Tammy realize, like, she needed to get her shit together before they go to this doctor's appointment in Atlanta. He even offers to weigh himself first. He's at 420 pounds. Blaze it. Okay. He's at 420 pounds. And then Tammy gets on and she's at 596.6 pounds. Chris is like, that can't be right, which is like, I mean, I think we all know it can be. Tammy just is like, doesn't know what happened. She's like, wow, how did I lose all this progress that I made? And then she goes on and claims that it's because Amy and Michael should have been more helpful to her. I'm sorry, what, girl? They are dealing with a pregnancy. Amy had her own surgery that she had to heal from. Michael, I think, is the only person in that trio that works a full-time job that's not YouTube. Like, why is it Amy and Michael's fault? Tell me that part. That's the part I have trouble understanding, Sister Sue. And finally, Chris says what we're all thinking, which is, you know, it's not fair to blame your sister or her husband. You are the only person who can do this, Tammy. You have got to get it together. And I have to say, I agree with him. like, I feel like it's just always been easy for Tammy to find someone to blame that's not her. And I'm like, nah, girl, we can't be playing that game anymore. You are a 34-year-old woman. You got to get it. You got to take responsibility of your own life, one way or the other. So yeah, that was like the episode. I think overall I enjoyed it. The continuity and the jumping around and that kind of stuff, I think made it lose some of its like je ne sais quoi. Right? Like, I kind of lost some of the spirit because I was just like trying to keep up with everything that had happened. But I'm hoping that was just like a first episode kind of a thing, like getting people back into it, reminding people of who all the characters were. I will say, because I didn't say this earlier, but I was disappointed that Mama Slaton didn't make an appearance at the family cookout. That was frustrating to me because I'm like, Mama Slaton, where you at, girl? Where you at? Where you at? But I think overall it did have the general, like, things that I enjoyed about the first season. It had, like, the endearing, like, interactions between Amy and Tammy where they're laughing, where when they start getting each other cracking up, that cracks me up. Honestly, truly, my favorite part of this show. Like, I really love that. I mean, I do live for the drama and stuff as well, which it seems like we will still get some of that, too. But I do live for when they crack each other up. Overall, I think I had a lot of fun with it. I do look forward to what is still gonna happen this season. I hope you all do as well, but also I would really love to hear what y'all think about it. How did you feel about the new season? What were your thoughts? What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? Let me know down below in the comments. I would love to hear it. And otherwise, that's all I have for today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and make sure to check out all the other Slaton Sister content I have. I also do non-Slaton Sister content on my channel, so if you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below, hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I go live or I post a new video. And as always, make sure to live, laugh, love, like, comment, share, and follow me on all of my social media. I had so much fun with you all today. I hope you did too, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!